Okay, hello people, how are you all doing? So yeah, like one thing I want to tell you in this video is that the Ring of Honor show back in August 1st, started with the long recap of Death Before Dishonor, which is a show that I really liked anyway, which I really liked. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, that recap was narrated by, the new guy in charge, Paul White, who was the Big Show back in WWE, back in the good old days and stuff. Not only that, there was an opening sequence happening in this show right here. Is we decided to take a look back at Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs, winning the 6-man tag team titles at Battle of the Belts and stuff. And honestly, I think Battle of the Belts, I found it pretty decent. And yeah, it was like a pretty decent show right there because we had Death Before Dishonor and there was Battle of the Belts happening before, just a regular Ring of Honor show happening and stuff. And that's that right there. So anyway, what I also what I also have to say is that this show started off with the 6-man tag team titles with Von Erichs, Dustin Rhodes versus Jack Jameson, slash Iron Savages. So yeah, so I wouldn't say that I'm exactly late to talk about this show because this show is like, this show was August 1st and this video is August 3 right there. I wouldn't really consider that late or anything. So anyway, this Ring of Honor show right here started off with, Jameson and the Savages, putting up some kind of challenge right there, you could say. As we also have Marshall and Jameson just starting off with, Marshall just snapping off some push-ups and right there and stuff as we get some right hands in the corner. Having Jameson in trouble and stuff is, as you can say, it's off to Ross versus, the Boulder. You could say Ross versus the Boulder, with the ladder taking over and stuff, you could say. Not ladder, you could. So anyway, so yeah, we got Marshall, not being able to slam and stuff, like I said. So anyway, we get Von Erichs trying to double track. Sorry, I got a little messed up there. So we got, Von Erichs trying to double drop kick him down and stuff, and right there, and that's that right there. So yeah, in a way, one thing I gotta tell you is results can be a little bit shaky sometimes, especially when a promotion gets lazier with their YouTube channel. Because come on, like we really want them to upload the fights on their channel, but just Ring of Honor just decide not to do that. I don't know if they're too busy. And I've had a talk with some friends, like several friends, that come on, Tony Khan needs someone to help him out with the Ring of Honor channel. Like he needs to hire a little bit more people. And I've had a talk about something like that right there. So anyway, we get some hard elbows, giving Bronson a 2 count, only to have Ross pop back up with the sling blade for the same and stuff. As we have Rose just coming in for an atomic drop into a bulldog. But, we get a cheap shot from the apron, putting Rhodes down and stuff. As we also get some cannonballs just going down onto the back, to have Rhodes in more trouble. As we also have Jameson shoving a bulldog attempt into the corner for a tool. For a tool and stuff. As we also get Boulders just running splash. Boulders running splash really gets another 2 count right there. As Bronson also grabs the chin lock right there. And we also, not only that, you could say we also have Rhodes just fighting back up, but charging into a spine buster for a 2 count. As we also get Bronson just decide to deck the Von Erichs. So yeah, even after Rhodes just did a backdrop, there was no one to tag right there and stuff. I guess you could say it doesn't matter as much as Marshall. He just goes up for the tag for a few seconds later, and not only that, Marshall just drops kick Boulder and gets in a slam for another 2 count, and that's where Slam hits the Canadian Destroyer to Jameson. And we also have the Von Erichs adding a double Shattered Dreams move, which I found a little bit interesting anyway. So I thought I caught a glimpse of that earlier. So anyway, we get the Claw Slam retaining the titles at the 12-minute and 18 mark. So yeah, So that match was 12 minutes right there. Pretty decent, because I like when matches. That's the thing right there. I like when matches are more than 10 minutes, you could say. I like when they do that. At least 10 minutes, especially when it's a women's match. That's cool right there. So yeah. So yeah. So not only that, we also get Mark Briscoe. He's Mark Briscoe with his newborn son, Jay Briscoe, which he named it after his brother and stuff. Right there, bragging about retaining his title. I guess you could say it is pretty nice that Mark Briscoe named his newborn son after his brother. Because, yeah, things do change, you could say. Yeah, and I guess that also implies that Mark Briscoe is also a father now. You could say that right there. And that's one thing the real wrestling fans would understand, So, yeah, another thing is the Top Flight versus the Ace of Space Academy, which that does sound a little bit decent. Like, decent team name right there and stuff. So anyway, we get the Top Flight debuting Lila Gray as their attendant in a funny name and stuff or some. We also get Dante just working on LSG's arm to start before it's off to the GMK. And not only that, the GMK helps the LSG with Rocket by maybe a double flipping face plant right there and stuff. We also get Darius just suplexing his way out of trouble and just handing it back to Dante to pick up the pace and stuff before everything breaks down. Just we have Darius just springboarding downward spiral, getting a 2 and stuff, which leads to setting up the F5 DDT to finish GMK at the 4-minute and 20-second mark right there. Precisely 4 minutes and 20 seconds. It could have been 5 minutes right there because, yeah, this match with the Top Flight versus the Ace of Space Academy was a short one. Yeah, swash. Because if it's like around 4 minutes, I'll still count it as a swash. Now, if it was 6 minutes, a little bit of a swash. Not as much of a swash. 6 minutes are not a swash at all. So yeah, not only that, we get the infantry being tired of seeing Top Flight everywhere and stuff. We also get Trish Adora saying that they have a new stewardess or something. Stuff, yeah, because I know you could say that the infantry was at war with the Top Flight at their little war and stuff, and they're getting tired of seeing Top Flight here and there and stuff. So yeah, and that not only that, the infantry hasn't had Layla involved for years and stuff. Because not only that, Layla Hirsch just ended up dislocating her elbow, beating DeMonte at Death Before Dishonor that one time and stuff. And not only that, we also get Robin Renegade versus Maya World and stuff. And honestly, I gotta say, this is another swash match right here. Just like what some of us were talking about earlier, like Tony Khan needs some people to help him out with Ring of Honor and stuff. Because, I mean, he's got the Elite doing their own thing with AEW and stuff. And, yeah, because, like, Tony Khan's got to bring in some, more workers or something, more brains, I would say. So, yeah, Robin Renegade versus Maya World, I would say, happens with Renegade, just elbowing her down to start with something right there. But, we get world flips happening on the kick out and stuff. Is not only that, we get knee drops from World happening again, but she just gets back up with the spear for her too and stuff. And I guess that doesn't matter as much either, as Renegade's pump handle into a downward spiral happens enough for his pin for barely 2 minutes, honestly, because this was like 1 minute and 1 minute and 53 seconds. Yeah, what a match, I'm telling you. That's sarcastic, by the way. So, okay, this one's decent, at least. Unlike those other two swash matches, we get the Beast Mortals versus AR Fox and stuff. And I guess you could say after a minor mistake from Ricky Boney, as he refers to Death Before Dishonor as last night and stuff. And not only that, these two, Beast Mortals and AR Fox, they decide to trade roll-ups for each other for a 2 at 2 each to start and stuff before the The offer goes with the handshake, not going too well for Mordos. Just who decides to run over with the clothesline and stuff. As we have Fox managing to send him outside for, you could say, a heck of a suicide dive and stuff. Is not only to have his bag charge cut off with the hard clothesline, but also back in and get Mordos hitting a pop-up Samoan drop for a 2 count and stuff. And all like that, we have him start hammering away at the back and stuff. As we have Fox managing a jumping hanging DDT. And yeah, that's right there is where that leads to a jumping enziguri, sending Mordos into the corner. Not only that, we get a cutter giving Fox a 2 right there. And yeah, Mordos is sent outside for the big dive, and as he goes back in and does a 450, just going back in and back in where they go in the, where's my mind at anyway? So yeah, going back in and having a 450, giving Fox a 2 count, but we have Mordos just grabbing that weird torture rack backbreaker of his, you could say, and stuff, which leads to a power bomb backbreaker setup into a discus lariat for a 2 on Fox, and that's what looked to be a choke slam being broken up counter. But right there, I guess you could say Mordos flipped him into a tombstone for the pin at the 10-minute mark right there, because yeah, this was like almost 11 minutes right here. I mean, I'll say it's pretty decent because it's past 10 minutes right here. And I guess you could give this match, the rating of this match, a B right there and stuff. Because yeah, some people give ratings to these matches, not just the entire show right there and stuff. So yeah. So yeah, not only that, we get the MXM collection being ready to face anyone, you could say. Even with Mansoor's chest still hurting from FTR's chops and stuff right there. So yeah. Honestly, not only that, we have Anthony Henry versus Wheeler Yuta right there and stuff, where Henry's cousin Beef being in the crowd. Like, Anthony Henry's cousin was backstage with him. And he just showed his tattoo on his stomach right there, and he was just all hyped for it and stuff. It was just pretty funny how he was just trying to be his hype man for Anthony Henry. As the match just goes technical to start with Wheeler Yuta getting his armbar reversed into a headlock, you could say. As we also get a slam into a backsplash, getting Yuta out of trouble, and you could say it was time to tie up Henry's legs and stuff right there in that situation. With that being broken up, we get Yuta just pulling the turnbuckle pad off and just crushing Henry's face against the steel. Not literally crushing, just slamming his head into the steel and stuff, which is still painful nevertheless. So anyway, yeah, after that, we get Henry just slipping out and start working on the arm, setting up a cross arm choke and stuff. As we have Yuta flipping out and grabbing a belly to back suplex and stuff. Setting up a top rope forearm and a DDT for a 2 each, 2 count and stuff. And I gotta say about this match, with Anthony Henry and Wheeler Yuta, is that this match was. They only showed a little bit of this match on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel. I was thinking that video was like pretty quick, because thank goodness at least we had more of that, you could say, more of that match than what the video showed us. Because I was thinking at first, like, this is like a very short match. Like, what happened? But then we got the results right here. It showed us that it was longer, so that's sort of a relief right there, you could say. So anyway, we get Yuta flipping out and grabbing a belly to back suplex before setting up a top rope forearm and a DDT for a 2 count and stuff. As we also have Henry's cross arm breaker being reversed into an ankle lock. With Yuta switching into a bridging German suplex for a 2. As we also get a backup and Henry's straight jacket suplex getting a 2 count as well before it's time for some yes kicks or YES kicks, you could say, as they both slug it out before locking hands with Yuta, taking him down and stomping him hard and stuff, you could say, with the seatbelt putting Henry away at just barely after 10 minutes and stuff, which is like 10 minutes and 10 seconds and stuff. And this match was pretty decent too, due to being more than 10 minutes and stuff. So yeah, that seatbelt is what, you know, what pretty much determined the match right there, you could say. So I guess you could say this was a fun match right here, as Yuta just gets his momentum back after losing the title from that one Friday, you could say. Stuff, and not only that, we get Wheeler Yuta just being back into the title picture real soon enough and stuff. Yeah, not only that. So yeah, anyway, yeah, that's what that was pretty much the match right there. So not only that, we get Lee Moriarty being happy with his title win because he didn't give it up anyway. Stuff, and not only that, he just decided that he'll face anyone, but wants to warn to protect their neck. He wants to warn people to protect their neck. As we have Moriarty just showing some, you could describe it as a little fire in his eyes right there. Stuff. So yeah, that's. So yeah, another thing I wanted to say is, yeah, Wheeler Yuta managed to beat Anthony Henry right there in that situation, right there in the match and stuff. So yeah, after all that, we also had the premier athletes versus the superstars and stuff. With the superstars, you could say looking like stereotypical 80s rockers and stuff, back when there was hair metal. Because I guess you could say hair metal was like the 80s equivalent of punk rock music and stuff. Because yeah, I think punk rock music and hair metal were like, so anyway. To start it off, you get Nessie, running the number one over to start and hand it off to Daivari to hammer away in the corner. As we have commentary just making every 80s music reference as they could find. Before we also have, Daivari just missing a big elbow. But, just Nessie is just right there, just breaking up the tag attempt as we have Nessie just diving into a number two. And not only that, we get Daivari adding a hammer lock lariat into the magic carpet splash for the pin at the number one. As you know, this match was another swash right here due to being 2 minutes and 42 seconds, I would say. And I would probably bet that if they uploaded a video of this fight, the video would have been longer than the match right there, because I kind of hate when they do that. Like, the video's longer than the swash matches themselves. Like, what gives? Like, that's the thing. So anyway, we get Anthony Henry being upset at his loss and stuff. And only that, we get his cousin Beef just still trying to cheer him up anyway, because he had that enthusiasm, you could say. Even though you could say Henry really did not need 3 segments on one show right there. It's just funny how his cousin Beef is just still just hyping things up right there. I thought that was hilarious. Even though Anthony Henry lost and stuff. So yeah, what we also have is Jacob B. Watts versus Fugo Del Sol. And honestly, I just want to know, what's up with the swash matches in this situation? Like, we got a number of swash matches happening here. Because this match was like 2 minutes and 48 seconds right here from what I see, I guess. So anyway, we get Watts having Nick Coromato with him before the bell happening, with Watts saying that if Del Sol had listening to him and stuff, he wouldn't have had to leave in the first place. And I guess you could say that just earned him a drop kick, where things start pretty fast and stuff, and Watts just wasn't too happy right there. And not only that, we have him bridging a Northern Light suplex for a 2 count to make it worse. Not only that, we get the running clothesline getting Watts out of trouble before Del Sol just flips out a belly to back suplex and grabbing a jumping neck breaker. Before we have Del Sol's stepping up stomp to the back rock to the back rocks on Watts and stuff. And honestly, I didn't really mean to rhyme that. You could say that doesn't matter. So not only that, we also get a tornado DDT, which finished Watts. If you want me something to rhyme about, Watts swash, that rhymes right there. I can tell you that. Watts in a swash. Watts finished in a swash. Watts finishes a DDT in a swash right there, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Watts finished by a DDT in a swash, you could say right there. So anyway, we get Lexi Nair and Athena just celebrating after Death Before Dishonor, while Billy Starks which you could say was a little less enthusiastic right there. Yeah, I'll say it again. Watts got finished off in a swash. So anyway, so yeah. After that, we also have Brian Cage versus Rocky Romero, where we get just Cage just sticking his chin out to start as Romero just kicks him in the ribs right there, only to have a head scissors shoved away and stuff. Before we also get Romero just avoiding a charge, just to send him outside where there's a running Hurricane Rana to take Cage down again right there. Then going back in where we have Cage just cutting off a springboard, setting up the apron or superplex. As they also trade chops in the corner with Cage just getting the better of things, only to get rolled up for 2 and stuff. Before, we also get Cage just planning him again, though, while they hit the chin lock. And yeah, that's right there. That was broken up and stuff. As they fight to the apron where Romero grabs the sliced bread, which I wouldn't really care about. So anyway, so yeah, we also get a high crossbody giving Romero a 2 count back inside or something, a 2 back inside, as we get a springboard tornado DDT on getting the same as well and stuff before we have another sliced bread being countered into an F5 for 2, and they just go into the corner and stuff, where Romero just grabs the super Hurricane Rana and stuff. And that right there has the running sliced bread giving Romero, a 2 right there. But as you know, we get Cage's helicopter bomb just getting the same 2 count as well. And here they go up at it again and just doing a super sliced bread, just giving Romero another near fall. As we also have Cage just catching him up the top though with hits and stuff. Is I guess some people would think that this was that the fall away slam would happen. I mean, like how do I put it? I would also think that a fall away slam, but honestly, you could say things were really messy as a fall away slam happened right there. As either way, it just sets up the drill claw to finish Romero after like 12 minutes and 7 seconds, which is pretty good. It's kind of weird how this show had its mix with swash matches and over 10-minute matches right there. Stuff like, what you could say rating B matches from what people would describe it. So not only that, we get to look at the Kingdom retaining the tag team titles at Death Before Dishonor, which happened the other time. As we also have the Kingdom, just bragging about being tag team championships for almost a year and stuff, which you could say, which would go all the way up to December and stuff. But not only that, we have the Infantry interrupting that situation as they won a title shot. And some people say that bickering ensues in that situation right there, as we're really going back to the Infantry already. You could say is. I wouldn't really say that's too shallow for a tag division, but some people would say it was. So yeah. So anyway, there was also Dustin Rhodes talking about how great it felt to be a champion again and stuff, with Rhodes just having been giving everything he has for his 36 years, and he does thank his fans and stuff for being there for him and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, both for himself and everyone else in the back and stuff. And not only that, you could say he's going to teach the Von Erichs everything he can and stuff. Before he was also so happy the other night that he sort of started to get a little emotional in that situation, you could say. As Rhodes also talked about being one of the last Rhodes being on one of the last rides, you could say, that he's been doing for 5 years or something. And not only that, he did feel pretty confident in that situation right there. And not only that, there's also a Q Evil Uno to mock Rhodes, because being a 6-man tag team championship should be enough right there. And not only that, like right on the show, it said that it was the It's Evil Uno's time, with Rhodes just wanting more because of his family name and stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't call that stupid. I wouldn't call his family name stupid. I really would not, in my opinion. So yeah, we get yeah, good. Uno just being sort of a jerk right there. So you could say 'cause he doesn't care about the Rhodes family because Rhodes just popped up while Uno has been there every week. You could say, and while Q, the Dark Order, decides to jump in on Rhodes. But not only that, we get Sammy Guevara, of all people, just coming in for the save to help out Dustin Rhodes right there because Dustin Rhodes was getting jumped. So while you could say the house was cleaned right there in that situation, I mean, we both could guess that the Von Erichs were off looking for a better leave and a conditioner and stuff before we also have Rhodes just cautiously thanking Guevara to end the show. And honestly, I was like wondering where Guevara was at AEW. I was wondering where he was at, but at least we got him in Ring of Honor, you could say. So yeah, I guess you could say that's certainly a big moment to end the show right there. Yeah, and honestly, that whole situation right there pretty much concluded the rest of the show. And honestly, because of the amount of, honestly, I think, where do I start? How do I put this up? I think because of the amount of swash matches this had, and this that were mixed with the matches that were past 10 minutes, let's say matches that were more than 10 minutes, along with, matches that were swashes, I would give that a 7 out of 10. I would give this show, because if there were to be another swash match, I would give this a 6 out of 10. Anyway, so yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say right now. And I hope all you people do really good with your lives along the way, you could say. So yeah, this is Red Boa, and yeah, I'm pretty much going to end the video right here. So yeah, that's that. Bye bye, and take care.